bother to know which religions you are. We don't need to write the WAEC is a criteria. We pay the WAEC for you.
What makes me, highly satisfied with this thing is that most of those who benefit from this thing are less privileged, class.
Stakeholders appreciate the goodwill from the parliamentarian, which they say wealthy individuals or corporate bodies should emulate.
Each candidate will benefit for this gesture 27,000 naira each. Putting the total together, 1,700 candidates will amount to 45,900,000.
He has done his best. He has done what Oba, they have not done it before, and you can see what is doing to our people, not his own constituency, to the whole national state.
May the Almighty Allah bless you, guide you, protect you, and lead you to the right direction.
Knowledge is a priceless asset. Nguse PV, NTA News.
Away from education, in Islam, Almighty Allah commands leaders to uphold trust and dispense fairness between parties, exercising social justice with utmost sense. This Islamic principle, emphasizing Muslims' duties in nation building, was the central message at the Anwarul Huda League of Nigeria's annual Ramadan lecture in Abuja. Onotu Yakubu reports that the Mufti of Igbaja land, Sheikh Abdul Rashid Lawal Atanda, was the guest lecturer.
The noble prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam exemplified the ideal model for nation building and leadership founded on pillars of justice, unity and responsibility when he established the first Islamic state in Medina, uniting people of diverse backgrounds for a common purpose. This Ramadan lecture reflected on this call, emphasizing the need for collective involvement through guidance, responsibility, devotion to justice, fairness, and righteousness in nationhood.
I don't want to see it as the problem of the authority, but I want to see it as a problem of our system. There is too much of freedom, liberality in our democracy.
Anwarul Huda League of Nigeria has annually utilized platforms like this to provide the Muslim Ummah opportunities to rekindle spirituality and faith, fostering moral discipline, empathy, increased consciousness of Allah, and strengthening relationship with Him, as modeled by the seal of the prophets, guided by the glorious Quran.
Amongst our program in this Ramadan also include our annual Laylatul Qadr Night of Majesty lecture.
With this tenant, it will also enable us to live in harmony with other faiths.
Themed From Faith to Action: How Islam Inspires Nation Building and Social Justice. Other contributors urge leaders to develop Allah consciousness in daily affairs and make collective efforts to address economic instability, providing citizens with relief.
It's very apt because there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to do. The youth and all people in power and in positions.
The model of ruling the world itself is Islamic. That is what the English people copy to mean democracy, that's shura, when you bring people together to form a government.
The lecture encouraged the Ummah to seek knowledge, nurturing unfettered nationalism. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
The Command Secondary School Kakurika All Students Association recently held a dinner to honor some of its distinguished members who have risen to the top echelons of their respective careers based on merit. Deborah Gazajumaika reports that among those being celebrated are Major General Sunday Makolo and Rear Admiral Gideon Kachim of the Nigerian Navy.
More than 40 years after leaving Command Secondary School, Kakuri, Kaduna, members of the Old Students Association have continued to make remarkable strides in their career. Recently, 3 distinguished members were honored for their outstanding achievements at a dinner organized in their honor. According to the president of the Old Students Association, the recognition of their members' successes aims to inspire others to remain committed to serving the nation with diligence.
This is like the case of the lizard that jumped from the fence. He looked to the left, looked to the right, nobody clapped for him. He nodded his head. So, because if you don't talk about yourself, nobody's going to talk about you. We've never had it this good. And then we felt it was an opportunity to celebrate them, showcase them to the world, so that people can know that it actually pays to be hardworking. And then this is a system that got them to the top based on merit. So it shows that if you're steadfast, if you're focused on what you're doing, you can actually get to the top.
The celebrants expressed gratitude to their former schoolmates who share in their joy and successes.
It's been over 30 years with Left Secondary School, 40 years if I'm not mistaken. And for me standing here, despite the challenges, I'm alive. I'm almost at the top of my career, if not the top. And having friends who are equally doing well in their various fields, coming to stay here with me and to acknowledge me, I think it's a good thing.
Now that the alumni is celebrating me, honestly, I feel very, very elated. I give thanks to God, first of all, for elevating me to the highest level in my industry, which is FDCO. And I feel very elated with the National Executive for deeming it fit to honor me to this exalted position.
We're here to remind ourselves of where we are, who we are, and how we started, and of course chart a way for the future. So I think it's a time well spent. Of course, people sacrifice their time to come here, and it's deeply appreciated.
The Old Students Association has also been actively involved in giving back to their alma mater, sponsoring events such as the annual Speech and Prize Giving Day and revitalizing the inter-house sports competition. In Abuja, Deborah Gazaji, Micah, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Sewing Championship 2025 has officially commenced with a keynote address and flag-off ceremony led by Professor Suwaiba Saidu Ahmad, Minister of State for Education. Sandra Akeme reports that this year's project marks the 3rd edition of the championship, targeting secondary school students in preparation for the forthcoming competition.
The National Sewing Championship, organized by the Ladi Memorial Foundation, aims to promote vocational skills and education in Nigeria. As part of the Skill Up Nigeria initiative, the championship seeks to upskill artisan skills and provide a platform for young people to showcase their talents. Partners and stakeholders of the National Sewing Championship 2025 commended the initiative, describing it as an excellent opportunity for participants to gain recognition, training, and mentorship. They emphasized that this initiative will ultimately contribute to the nation's economic growth. Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Saidu Ahmed, and Minister of State for FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, represented during the flag-off ceremony, expressed their support for the annual National Sewing Championship, recognizing its potential to promote vocational education and training in Nigeria.
And one of the key priority areas that this administration is focusing on is skills acquisition. We are spending a lot of money to ensure that our youth have skills across different levels, across the basic level, upper basic level, and also at the tertiary school level. To all participants, I commend your dedication, passion, and skills. Whether you emerge as the winners today or tomorrow, your talent and hard work are already worthy of recognition.
According to the program coordinator, NSC, Mrs. Rosemary Osikoya, with the championship now on the way, students from secondary schools across the country will compete to showcase their skills and creativity.
Because in Nigeria, there's a perception that you have to know somebody to be somebody to get somewhere. And you would have thought that a vocational skills competition that wants to reward only talent, wants to find a son of a nobody somewhere who could aspire to have something. And we have this level of buy-in. I believe it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just going to hopefully motivate and encourage more people to support a child in their community, a child in their school, a child in their locality. Because until we get to that point where you can get something when you know nothing in Nigeria, then we wouldn't have said that our dream of a flourishing Nigeria would happen.
In Abuja, Sandra Akeme, NTA News.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against